Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku. We also had Rose Wilson. Now, Deku, him and Rose, they were out on patrol trying to find the Joker. They thought that he might have been alive. However, it was really just Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. And then, there was the fact that Rose got hit with fear toxin. She saw her dead brother. And Deku? He got her out of there. However, there was later. After the fear toxin wore off, she was acting different. She was mad, crazy, a little bit more unhinged. And the best way of saying it, she was pissed off. And she tried to make a move on Deku. She wanted to forget about what was in her head. And the best way to do that would be to kind of make a move on the guy she likes. And Deku tried to talk her down. He used a little bit about what she was going through. Well, he used a bit about what he learned in therapy to help her with what she was going through. And Deku, he started noticing a pattern. She was angry because of what happened. She still has an emotional rage towards her father. She's not thinking clearly because she's clouded by anger? I mean, why does all this sound so familiar? Oh, right. Now, Deku, he was a bit more surprised. Some of that stuff he learned actually helped. And there was where Barbara broke into his apartment after finding out he was the Red Hood. And she did not believe it. She wanted to find evidence. And well, she found some. Now then, with that being said, let us start with Izuku, currently at therapy. Him and Barbara, they do both sit there, and Deku is trying to figure a few things out. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. The two are definitely going to be up to something soon. However, Ivy is the main problem. He knows a simple fix to handle her. But Quinn. Quinn has tools and gadgets of the Joker. He knows a lot of the earlier days stuff, but some stuff's definitely improved. He got the Joker off guard, so that's good. Okay. He definitely knows how to find her. He just needs to set some bait. Use something as bait. Right. That'll definitely be easy. Now, therapy does start to wrap up. And everybody, they are getting their things and starting to leave. Some people talking to each other, as others, they also go to head out. And there is actually where Barbara, she's going to approach Deku. Her still trying to keep on her best poker face. And Deku's going to turn and see Barbara. There's her face. There's the way she looks. A bit more annoyed. That slight look in her eye. Something's wrong. Hey Barb, you alright? I'm fine, Jason. How have you been? I've been a little shaken up actually. Someone broke into my place last night again. Again? Yeah. I thought it was the guys who may have robbed me. Oh, sorry about that. Are you okay? I'm fine. I wasn't at home. But nothing was stolen, thankfully. Good. Right. So what's up? Could we get coffee? Lunch, actually. Sure. Now, the two do go to leave. And there is where Deku, him and her do currently sit in a restaurant. And Deku's a bit more surprised at how empty the place is. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, so it's dead, but that's not right. Okay, so the heavy flow of traffic outside, people would be coming in, but this place is definitely popular. Something's wrong. Now, Deku, he's trying to find his best way to get in out of the situation. Barbara wants to talk to him, and this place is supposed to be busy. So, Deku turning his head, as he does go to see Alfred Pennyworth. And right now, Bruce Wayne does stand on the other side of the glass. And Deku, he does stare directly at Bruce. Before Bruce does get a turn and start making his way to the door. And Deku, he does a look back towards Barbara, as Barbara does a smack him across the face. And Deku does a turn his head and then go to look back at her. That hurt. That is for... Fuck you. Barbara. No. You played with my fucking emotions, you asshole. I actually thought I could... Fuck you. Now, Deku does stare at Barbara. And Barbara, she's mad. Fuck you. That's all she's really saying. She's very pissed off. Deku knows he struck a very, very personal nerve. And there is where Batman, he walks inside. And Deku, whenever he does a turn and see Bruce, he does go to stand up. However, the moment he does, somebody is going to pop up around the corner. And Deku is going to see Nightwing. Lovely. So that means Deku turning his head and seeing Alfred Pennyworth, who currently does go to sit outside against a vehicle. Him with his hand over a part of his jacket pocket. And Deku can tell Alfred's carrying a piece. Quaint. Now, there is where Deku, he does to watch Batman walk over and sit down. As Alfred, he does start making his way into the restaurant. And Deku, yeah, he does sit back down too. As Dick, he does lean against the table as Batman does start to talk. Bruce wants to know when, how, and what happened. Now, Deku does sit there, and there is where his hand, someone is going to twitch. Batman's asking him the questions, treating this like an interrogation, like he's just some common criminal. And Bruce does see the anger in Deku's eyes. And Deku does start to feel the rage. He starts to feel them creep in. And there is when he does start to hear the whispers. Bruce never cared. Bruce only wanted a bullet sponge, a meat shield. That's why he had you dress up in flashy colors, and why he was the Dark Knight. You can't shoot a shadow, but you can definitely shoot the yellow thing hiding in the shadow. Of course, right. Deku looking back at Bruce. As Bruce, he does try to talk down Deku. He wants Deku to know that Ra's al Ghul is using him. Ra's al Ghul, he is a liar. He's been alive for hundreds of years. And Ra's al Ghul, never once in that time does he believe he's ever actually had friends. Subordinates, yes. People below him, yes. He values himself too highly. The closest person to him is his daughter. And even then, Talia al Ghul, she is a crazy, unhinged young woman. And Ra's al Ghul, he treats her like she's scum under his boot. If he treats his own family that way, why would he make Deku special? Why exactly would he do this? He brought Deku back because he wanted to make Deku Bruce's biggest failure. And Deku just went smash his fist on the table, yelling at Bruce, "Shut up!" And there's where everybody, they do go to fall silent. As Deku is going to grab at his head, yelling at Bruce, after what the Joker did to him, everything the Joker did to him, he seriously can't say the Joker deserved any right to life. And Bruce just stared back at Deku, as Bruce doesn't say a word. He gives Deku that grin. Well, he gives Deku that face, the just expression. He's not going to say a word. He agrees with Deku. The Joker should not have been alive. Bruce was always hoping, secretly, right, that one day some guy with a gun would just walk up and blow his head off. Well, guess what, Bruce? It fucking happened. Deku's screaming at Bruce Wayne. And Deku's gonna yell at him, scream at him. How long was it before he got another Robin? A newer model? He knows about Tim. He's a smart kid, right? He's a good detective, right? Guess what? He was always the better fighter. He was the one who knew what needed to be done. But Bruce held him back. Bruce didn't want him to go to the dark side, cross that line he talks about. If you kill a killer, right? There's still killers, right? Well, guess what? Don't stop. Last night, he killed a pretty good number of people. And the night before, he killed a pretty good number of people. So guess what? The number of killers did go down. Just not enough. And Bruce just stared at Deku. Deku still just gotta give him the spiel. He's justifying his own actions. And Barbara just gotta watch it. Deku, anytime he tries to talk back to Bruce, he's mad, angry, not thinking clearly. That much is true. And Bruce, yeah. He plays games with Deku's head. He's trying to convince him Ra's al Ghul is using him. He's trying to tell Deku about exactly what's really happening. He can still come back from this. Just put down the guns and take people alive. He can still become a member of the Bat family. He just needs to listen to what he says. And Deku? He does glare back at Bruce Wayne. He's not wanting to listen to him. He doesn't want to listen to a word he says. And there is where Deku, he does going to walk towards the door. I'm going to stand up as Alfred does going to stop him, trying to express to him, stepping forwards and bringing his hands up. And Deku thinks that Alfred, he is about to punch him, throw a fist, maybe toss him across the bar. Or, hey, how about over the counter into those bottles? That fancy-ass coffee machine? Now, Alfred does going to step forward towards Deku, bringing his hands up and pulling Deku into a hug. And Deku, he does going to freeze. As Alfred, he does try and tell Deku about it. Such a young boy, burdened by responsibility, burdened by pain. He's been through quite a lot, and he's been through it alone. Tell him what happened. Master Izuku, he needs help. And help won't just come walking through the door. Help will be right here, with family. Master Bruce took him in as a young boy. He had nothing to his name but a pocket full of change. Does he remember that? Does he remember what Bruce did? What he gave him? He gave him a home away from the streets. Bruce gave him much. And Izuku? He's also been through much. He's suffered. And he needs to talk to his father. And Deku doesn't sit there frozen. He doesn't feel angry towards Alfred. And his mind somewhat doesn't feel cloudy. And Deku is going to bring his hands up. And he is actually going to bring his hands up to wrap Alfred in his own hug. But he also feels guilt in his stomach. He knows what he's doing is right. He knows it's right. He can't be confused right now. Then on Deku's mind, Alfred's playing games with his head. And there's where Bruce does going to step forwards, expressing. He knows everything the Joker did. The Joker sent him tapes. The Joker sent him audio. The Joker sent him pictures. And every time he's cross-examined them, he's found that either they're sometimes the same session, rarely in that case or instance, or they're all different. He's compiled notes, and he knows exactly how bad Deku was tortured. And Deku is going to turn, looking at Bruce with anger, before trying to tell him. So, he didn't know he was in Arkham, but he knows how long he was there, right? And Bruce is going to somewhat fall quiet, as Dick Grayson is going to step forwards, talking about it. That's not what he means. Sure sounds that way, Dick. You gotta calm down, dude. Don't tell me to calm down. You try dying first, then coming back. Leaves you with a hell of a lot of shit to go through. I had rest. I came back, and I won't stop until I can rest. Now, Deku, he does want to try to pull away from Alfred, but Alfred doesn't let Deku go. And Deku, he actually just goes to look back towards Alfred, telling him to let go of him. But Alfred doesn't. He tries to tell Deku he needs to come home and rest. He needs to stand down. He needs to talk to them. And there actually is where Barbara is going to watch it. She sees the expression on Deku's face, whenever he does going to turn back to Bruce. There are tears in his eyes. And the expression, he looks like a scared boy. And Barbara doesn't just realize it for a second. But then Bruce is going to cut in. 3,967 hours. What? That's how many hours of footage the Joker sent me. How many audio logs? How many times I've had to hear you scream? I will never forget the sounds I've heard you make, son. It's burned into my head. I have nightmares about it. Nightmares of hearing you scream till your voice goes hoarse. Screaming until I can't even recognize the sounds coming out of your mouth. Izuku, there is a lot I have to regret in life. Never finding you. Never finding me? You abandoned me, Bruce. Arkham. I know exactly where the Joker's cell is, Bruce. It's in Arkham. Under that old rockety asylum. But what about the abandoned wings, Bruce? Bruce is somewhat surprised. And Deku is going to tell him. It was always something. He remembers always being moved. He remembers always being locked in some sort of room. Damp, wet, uncomfortable, freezing cold. He can't even sit comfortably anymore. He can't even remember what it's like to walk and not feel that pain. He'll always remember it. Because Bruce Wayne, he abandoned his son. Now, Dick Grayson is going to hear it. That is almost 4,000 hours. What is that? Almost, no, that's more than 100 days, but it's not, it's got to be, what, 100, more than 150 maybe? Shit. That currently being on Dick Grayson's mind. And there is Barbara. Barbara, she knew that Jason was through shit. But actually hearing Deku's history, the villains of Gotham, they put him through the ringer. His history, everything she's learned about Jason, it's the same with Izuku. Now, Deku does continue on, yelling and screaming at Bruce. And Bruce, he does still try and talk Deku down. But Deku, he's trying his best to still stay mad. But Bruce Wayne can see it. He can see the scared little boy that was in Arkham. He can see that scared little boy that was crying out for mommy. Because right now, he's crying out for somebody to help him. Him and Alfred, they were close. But Bruce Wayne and Izuku Midoriya? Yeah. He taught that boy everything. He gave that boy everything. And the Joker? He beat all of it out of him. Now, Bruce, he does actually step forwards. Him trying to extend his hand out to Deku. But Deku, he doesn't step forwards himself. Him going to throw back his fist as there's Alfred. Him going to step forwards and inject something up into Deku's shoulder. And Deku, he doesn't turn and see the needle. Before he does a grab at it and... Alfred. Fuck. I'm going to at least fall forwards. And Bruce is going to catch him. That's definitely better, but not good. That being on Bruce's mind. And Bruce, he does try to tell them all. They need to get him back to the Batcave immediately. Because there's going to be a problem. He's fairly certain that whatever's going to happen next will be difficult. They need to find out if Deku had a contingency plan in case this ever happened. And Dick is confused. As Bruce is going to look towards him and Dick, he has to try and think. Right. You always make plans, so if Izuku knows their playbook, or... Fuck. He's not familiar in the older ones, but... Okay. Right. Now, Deku is brought back to the Batcave, and there is where he does start to somewhat wake up. As he does look at the ceiling, and... really hasn't changed. Now, Deku does gonna sit up, and he finds himself to be in a plastic box. Of course. And right now, Bruce, he does sit there. Him at the back computer with his phone plugged in. And Deku, he does sit there, telling Bruce, whatever he's doing, it's not gonna work. You know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna turn and express. He knows Izuku's little game plan. He knows that Izuku, he's done quite a lot. He knows Izuku remembers their playbook. And he knows Izuku, he's smart. So, where exactly is the person holding the information? He wants to know where they are. If he gives them that person's name, then they can make this a lot easier. They can cooperate. They can eventually get him rehabilitated. And Deku is going to throw his fist out towards the glass. Him smashing his fist against it and yelling at Bruce. Let him go and he'll make a phone call. Now, Bruce doesn't believe that Deku will call the right number. Deku definitely has allies. The League. Okay, so... No. He won't be expecting Ra's al Ghul. He'll be expecting... Deathstroke. If all that does come down to it, then... maybe an entire team. Okay, that's not good. Bruce is going to press a button. And there is her brother Eye. He does get to activate a certain feature in his computer. The Bat family, the entire manor is on a high alert. If a fly so much as touches something outside, they'll know about it. If it flies past the vehicle, that alarm will be set off. And Bruce, he needs to at least make sure nobody gets in here. But he also has to make sure he finds the person, Deku, he paid to hold on to information. Because if that person doesn't receive a phone call within the next 24 hours, the world may find out that Bruce Wayne's Batman. And Deku, yeah, he does have leverage on Bruce Wayne. So, he gets to make a phone call, but he also gets to make demands. Because he holds the cards here. At least, that should be the case. Bruce, he might have to make a phone call to a friend. Because if he can't figure out exactly who in Deku's contact list is the one he calls, because the encryption is good on his phone, definitely good. I mean, if the back computer doesn't break it, he'll need Tim. And Tim, he doesn't want Tim to see this. Izuku, he's in a cage. That's not something he wants. He doesn't want this to set an example. If the Robins go bad, they end up in a cage. He did this. Izuku's his responsibility to handle. He sees his son again, and he turned out to be a violent killer. He's ashamed, honestly. Now, while Bruce is trying to figure all this out, trying to possibly call a friend, maybe see about making an algorithm based on Deku's vocal patterns, it's just sort of up in the air what he'll try to do. If he can't figure this out, Deku will reveal the Batman's identity. And Deku, he may think he's holding the cards. He may think he's the one who's pulling the strings. But right now we do actually cut over to somebody else holding the cards. As they do look up and express they are going all in. As the man, he also look up towards another person, and he gives a big shit-eating grin, and he smiles. Now, with that being said, I do believe that that is a good point to leave this off of. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.